Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call to order the Public Improvement Commission hearings of today being July 8, 2021. Scott Liming, if you could do the honors by doing a roll call.
Certainly.
Representative from the Public Works Department,
Haraj Jaisingh,
Property Management,
Joe Callahan,
Transportation Department,
Amy Gordon,
Inspectional Services,
Brian Ronan,
Water and Sewer Commission, I believe Denise is on.
I see her.
Sorry, excuse me, I didn't have the microphone on. Denise Devlin.
Oh, perfect.
Thank
Thank you, Denise. And Disabilities Commission. All present. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Liming. First order of business, the hearing minutes. At the request of the Public Improvement Commission staff, the acceptance of minutes of the PIC hearings held on June 24, 2021. I'd like to hear a motion to accept the minutes as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes of June 24th.
second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. First item of today's agenda in the public hearing continued segment. First item, on a petition by Verizon New England Inc. for a grant of location with lead company status and no participant to install new telecommunication conduits with City Shadow within the following public ways in South Boston. Nearport Boulevard, generally between address number 55 and Congress Street at Nearport Boulevard. This was brought under new business on May 27th of 2021. First public hearing was on June 10th, and the public hearing continued for June 24th. As shown on the plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, ground application plans, Verizon, Nearport Boulevard, Congress Street, South Boston, 1 feet dated May 20, 2021. Good morning to the person from Verizon.
good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Richard, but we can't see you.
Hang on just a second. Oh, there we go.
There we go. Go for it, Richard.
Good morning. Yes, Richard Foreman representing Verizon New England. As stated, this is a continued petition request for 232 feet of new conduit being placed from the intersection of Congress Street and Pier 4 Boulevard up to a new service to 55 Pier 4 Boulevard. This petition plan has been updated to include various requests from Boston Water and Sewer Commission. There was a new plan that was resubmitted this morning about 9:30 with I'm not sure if that's been received by Boston Water and Sewer.
Yeah, so far, these are just our comments. I mean, you appear to just, to have included the hydrant. That was the only comment that we had. And also, I know Todd had already mentioned it about the stamp. Another comment that came by was about it has to have a civil stamp on it. So it appears from what you sent to us this morning was the same look. I don't know if you have the plan as what you're presenting, but it's, the location was from what you presented, what you sent to us this morning is the same as what you sent to us before. So that's the same one you're presenting today. The location appears to be fine. So whereas we have, we just had other comments with the hydrant, and it appears you made that change. I don't know if it's appropriate, Para, to say it's contingent upon our approval, because it appears that the petitioner, has, the location was okay, but we still had, comments that just have to be addressed. And we still need to have the 4 copies to get stamped for approval too, on our end.
Yes, regarding the stamp, I did confirm with our right-of-way manager that we do have a mass civil engineering stamp that will include it going forward. I believe that was communicated in the email Todd this morning with the revised plan.
Oh, yes, it was, yes.
Richard, I need to try and accomplish the sensible thing. So let me ask Ms. Devlin, may I suggest again, hopefully it is agreeable to you, that we take a contingent vote here where the contingencies are, so that we just limit the exposure of Mr. Foreman and his team from coming back again. At least we will take a contingent vote moderated by the board and superintendent, where the plans have to be revised to meet the totality of the needs as proposed by Devlin and PSC staff. Is that comfortable with you, Mr. Foreman? That seems to be the best thing I can do right now.
Kara, I apologize. I actually can't really hear you that well.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay. I don't know if there's other noises in the background.
Todd's the echo.
Oh,
Sorry, everyone.
Okay, Todd, I think if you could mute the Boston Cable thing, it might be helpful. Dennis, let me try this again. So if you could nominate a motion where it is contingent upon the good people from the petitioner submitting the necessary revised plans, properly stamped, which negates the need for us to continue this hearing. Ms. Devlin, is that okay for you?
oh yes, that's fine, Para. Thank you.
Awesome. Mr. Foreman, can you abide by those conditions?
Yes, so Ms. Devlin, if you don't mind me asking, are you saying that there were missed notes that were not included on the revised plan?
No, there weren't. Just it appears that you just made all the comments that we requested. But the appropriate process is to go through the Engineering Customer Services Department. So the location is okay for the conduit. It appears that through our comments that we made before, that you addressed those comments. Just with those other little nomenclatures, we do want to have we just want to make sure that you file. Get the stamped copy through the Engineering Customer Services Department with the final set of approved plans from us.
Okay, yes,
So the
so,
stamped copy.
yes, so the contingency would be making sure that they are approved with the appropriate civil engineering stamp.
Yes, and with the stamp copy, like our normal process to get, send Engineering Customer Services the 4 sets of copies to be stamped.
Okay, agreed.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Mr. Foreman, sorry, Peter, just a tiny point of clarification because I was looking at some of the emails. So we need a person who is duly qualified to stamp the plans that is currently being discussed at the point of stamping. I think I don't want to put too much because this is, I don't like to do group therapy in this format. Hopefully, Mr. Foreman, you understand what is being requested.
Yes, I understand.
Awesome. So that all being said, any other commission member have any comments regarding the first public hearing continued item? Hearing none, PIC staff and all members of the audience?
No, we are all set. And again, I apologize for the echo or the static from this microphone. It does need to remain open during the hearing for audiovisual purposes, but no comments on this project.
Thank you, Todd. Ms. Devlin, I would like to get a motion from you at this point.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Verizon New England for a grant of location in the area of Pier 4 Boulevard and Congress Street, contingent upon the applicant complying with Boston Water and Sewer requirements for plan submittal, and also contingent upon getting an authorized stamp from a civil engineer.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion passes as a contingent vote. Thank you, Mr. Foreman. Thank you, Mr. Callahan and Ms. Devlin. Moving on to the public hearing segment of our agenda. Item number 1, on a petition by 250 Center Street Housing Limited Liability Company for the discontinuance of any and all rights to travel the public may have had within a portion of Emery Street, a public way Roxbury on its westerly side, south of Center Street. This was brought under new business on June 24th of this year, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division Discontinuance, Emery Street, Roxbury, one sheet dated June 14, 2021.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is David Aiken, Senior Project Manager at the Community Builders. I'm joined here today by John Schmidt from Niche Engineering. This is a discontinuance request so that we can construct 250 Center Street, which is 110 units of mixed income housing, about 2/3 of which are affordable and income restricted housing. We are getting ready to commence construction later this month. And in the time since the new business hearing, we have taken fee ownership of the underlying property, which was one of the items that we had to do in terms of meeting the public hearing requirement here today. And we've also submitted the appraisal to the Public Improvement Commission staff, which I know is under review. So we're hoping that there'll be able to be a vote on this today so that we can continue to move forward and start construction on this development later this month. John Schmidt has the plans that he can share if needed.
Thank you, David. John?
Can you see the plans?
Not yet.
Not yet. We do see you.
Aren't I handsome?
You are that and always will be.
Let me try this again here. Apologize for this. No. Enough of me. Let me try this again. A window. Can you see this now?
We see your whole screen, but we are not seeing the segment that you are trying to show in terms of the plans.
Damn it. All right, one more try here. There.
I will.
Todd, can you assist Mr. Schmidt, or I'll send him a bill later for the, okay. John, I think
David Aiken.
you're good now.
I am good, okay. I don't know if it's me or Todd that's doing this. So first of all, I apologize for my inability to do this after a year and many months of Google Meets. So we're proposing to discontinue 432 square feet of the layout of Emery Street Extension. And this will allow the construction of 250 Center Street to commence, which is an affordable housing project in the Jackson Square neighborhood. This continuance will still allow the city a 40-foot right-of-way that will bring Emery Street Extension to Center Street, should there be desire to make a connection to a connection by roadway to Center Street in the future. As you may know, we are in the process of working with Boston Public Works in redesigning and reconstructing Emery Street Extension, which will allow a pedestrian pathway from the end of the extension through the remaining 4 feet of public space, right-of-way space, to Center Street. And actually, this morning we received an email from Zach with the first 25% review comments. And we will be coming to the commission probably sometime this fall for the Emery Street extension approvals. But for today, we're asking for the discontinuance of 432 square feet that is approximately 10 feet wide and 46 feet long, 45 feet long.
John, just to echo some of the thoughts you have shared so far, I want to hear again that the discontinuance does not impede in any way,
Oh, sure.
either through design or through construction,
Yeah.
the city's ability to do
Right.
the extension work.
So this design does not impede any existing utilities or proposed utilities or the city's ability to proceed with the extension work.
Wonderful. Second question, and this is for Mr. Liming of PSC staff. Todd, who is the fee ownership and the discontinuance? Is there monies involved with it?
Yes, the petitioner is the sole owner of the fee interest in this land. They have submitted an appraisal to us. We are reviewing it, and provided that there are no issues with the appraisal, the petitioner will pay the city for the loss of public rights here.
So I want to make sure that this doesn't get recorded until we finalize those conversations, Todd. I believe that is the normal way which we do business.
Correct. We will not record any discontinuance documents until the city approves the appraisal that was submitted.
Wonderful. Thank you, Mr. Liming, for that clarification. At this point, are there any questions by fellow commission members? Hearing none. Are there any comments by PIT staff and or members of today's audience?
No, none.
At this point, I'd like to hear a motion regarding public hearing number 1.
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by 250 Center Street Housing LLC for the discontinuance in Amory Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstaining? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, folks.
Thank you very much.
Moving on to the second item on the public hearing segment, on a joint petition by Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust and Jordan Realty Advisors LLC for the acceptance of a pedestrian easement adjacent to the following public ways in Brighton. Corey Road on its southeasterly side at address number 249 southwest of Jordan Road. Jordan Road on its southwesterly side between Corey Road and the town of Brookline municipal boundary. This was brought under new business on June 24th of 2021, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Pedestrian Easement Plan 249 Corey Road, Jordan Road, Boston, Brighton, one sheet dated June 17th, 2021.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Bert Corey. I'm with DGT Associates, civil engineers and surveyors for this property. As you mentioned, I'm representing Jordan Realty Advisors, LLC, and Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust. Even though my last name is Corey, I have no relation to Corey Road nor to Corey Realty Ventures Trust. I just happen to have the right name, I think, for this project. So this particular one is actually, let me present my screen.
Thank you, Bert. You're good.
You're welcome. Corner of 249 Corey Road is at the corner of Jordan Road and Corey Road in the Brighton district. Is owned by the applicant, and I think for this particular public hearing, this is with regards to the pedestrian easement plan. So as part of the process and the information that we received back from the city agencies, there was a request to widen the sidewalk along this particular property to 7 feet. And in order to do that, the pedestrian easement was drawn up to allow approximately a half a foot onto the subject property, so that the sidewalk from the curb to the actually to the retaining wall that will surround this front part of the property would provide that 7 feet. The pedestrian easement plan is shown. It's also dated 6/17. It was presented during the new business. I think as far as, like I said, it's a half a foot in from the property line, and we show the detail of what that pedestrian easement will be. The attorney is working on the verbiage for that, or the written easement, as well as the grant of easement for that.
Thank you, Bert. Just a point of clarification triggered by something by a comment you made. You said that there's a retaining wall associated with this project. I'm going to assume two things. One, it is completely within your private property. Is that correct, Mr. Corey?
That's correct. That's correct.
Second, Mr. Bert, I'm going to assume also that the said retaining wall shows up either in the specific repair plans or the pedestrian easement plans, because I can't quite see. Can you verify whether the retaining wall, as mentioned by you, shows up in one of the two plans?
Yeah, if we go into the plan that was prepared, it's part of the
Specific
public.
repair?
Yeah, it's a specific repairs.
All right.
So let me zoom in on the an area here, just so you can see that.
Okay.
If you can see this, yeah, this area here is the retaining wall. So the front face of the retaining wall will be right on the edge of the easement.
Thank you, Bert. Appreciate you clarifying. If you just can go, if you could put back the easement, pedestrian easement plans, because that is the subject of the present hearing.
Yes.
Even though I took you on a left turn, I just want to make sure that there's a continuity in the conversation. So, appreciate you taking the extra efforts to provide this easement. At this point, I'll open up for any questions or comments by fellow commission members. Hearing none, I'm assuming that we are all very appreciative of you taking the extra step to provide that half a foot to ensure that our sidewalks are as usable as possible on a 40-foot layout. Are there any comments or questions by PSC staff and or members of today's audience?
No, none.
At this point, I'd like to hear a motion regarding public hearing number 2.
I'll make a motion to approve a joint petition by Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust and Jordan Realty Advisors LLC for pedestrian easement in Corey Road and Jordan Road as read to the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, please signify saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion passes. Third item on today's agenda, on a joint petition by Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust and Jordan Realty Advisors LLC for the making of specific repairs within the following public ways in Brighton, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, storm drain infrastructure, and driveway curb cuts. Corey Road on its southeasterly side at address number 249, southwest of Jordan Road. Jordan Road on its southwesterly side between Corey Road and the town of Brookline municipal boundary. This was brought out a new business on June 24th of this year, as shown on a set of plans entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division Specific Repair Plan 249 Corey Road, Jordan Road, Brighton, 2 weeks dated June 17, 2021.
Again, Bert Corey, DGT Associates, we're the surveyors and civil engineers for this project, representing Jordan Realty Advisors LLC and Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust. 249 Corey Road is shown on the screen right now. It's at the corner of Jordan Road and Corey Road in the Brighton district. The project involves demolition of the existing 2-story building. It's vacant. It used to be the Corey Hill Nursing Home. Let's see, let me go back one here. This gives you a view of the existing site, Jordan Road, and then also Corey Road. There will be a construction of the 4-story, 34-unit apartment building. As part of that process, this was presented to the BPDA back in October of 2020. That review was completed, and it's just pending the approval letter. It also, this project was also submitted to the Boston Water and Sewer Commission for site plan approval for the utilities and the stormwater management plan. That was prior to the Public Improvement Commission hearing that we're having now. That was approved back in May of 2017. As part of this process, we sent out the the notifications to the city agencies as well as the utility companies. We did receive back some comments from the Public Improvement Commission, the Boston Planning and Development Agency, and the Disabilities Commission, as well as from Boston Water and Sewer. Combining all of those comments together, we're able to address all of them onto the plans that you have in front of you. And just to go through those, it involves about 250 linear feet of sidewalk area that is to be replaced, starting from the Jordan Road, heading down Jordan Road, around the corner, and then up Corey Road. As to address a comment that was made from the BPDA about tightening up the existing curb radius here from 26 to 10 feet, we were able to gain a little extra area so that it was very helpful to address a comment made by the Disabilities Commission in trying to move the pedestrian ramp from an apex configuration to one that is a little bit further up gradient of Jordan Road. And again, this change in curb radius here allows for that to occur. At the same time, Boston Water and Sewer had a comment with regards to the existing catch basin that was at this corner. At the time, and right now, it somewhat interferes with the pedestrian easement in that it's in a transition curve. And because of that, it really can't be a gutter mouth. Well, as part of all of these comments, we're able to move that catch basin up Jordan Road just slightly so that we could install a gutter mouth catch basin. So between all of those, everything worked out terrific. The extra width on the sidewalks helped out. So I think we had all good comments, and they are all addressed in this particular plan. I think I covered most of it. There are two entrances to this facility. There's one is a main entrance, which goes down into a lower level parking garage. That is 12 feet wide, and there's also another 12-foot wide curb cut that provides at-grade parking for FedEx, UPS, deliveries, trash removal, that type of stuff. And that should, also on the reciprocal ramp for this particular one, we're rebuilding that to a point where we can get the access ramp as well as the level landing pad to meet the specifications. However, because of the grades that are on this road, there's approximately a 10% on Jordan Road coming downhill and Corey Road running downhill. With the 10 and the 10 running away from each other, the actual transition ramps become a little steeper than what we would typically provide, and to meet the handicap accessibility regulations. So we will have to go for a variance for the transition ramps, but we can provide a level landing area for that. So it's definitely an improvement to that reciprocal ramp. Any questions?
Oh, good morning, Bert. How are you?
Hi.
Thank you for making that change that we requested for moving the catch basin so you can fit the gutter mouth. We did have an additional comment. So on the set of the specific repairs plan, that catch basin on Jordan Road, you show it tied into a manhole on Quarry Road, and that is actually a change in grade. It's not a manhole. So the request that we are, that we're making that we want for that tie-in for that catch basin, we want it to go perpendicular to the drain on Jordan Road. And I can send you the comments after the meeting today. Scan them in and email them to you.
Okay.
And then we do want to have, because it did change, we do want to have an updated site plan on file. So if you could just please contact Lewis from our Engineering Customer Services Department to just make those changes.
Sure.
Thank you.
Any further comments by fellow commission members? Sarah, I'm going to assume you're all okay with the condition of the ramps and the variances that Bert spoke of.
Yes, and we appreciate the project's team openness to our feedback, and we're working with the project team as well for that variance that's needed to tie into the existing conditions.
Thank you. Any further thoughts or comments by fellow commission members? Hearing none. Comments by PSC staff and or members of today's audience?
None.
Excellent. At this point, I'd like to hear a motion regarding public hearing number 3.
I'll make a motion to approve a joint petition by Corey Realty Ventures Nominee Trust and Jordan Realty Advisors LLC for the making of specific repairs in Corey Road and Jordan Road is read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Bert. Nicely done.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too. Next item, public hearing number 4 on a petition by Bartlett Place Land Inc. for the making of specific repairs within the intersection of Washington Street, Bartlett Station Drive, and St. James Street in Roxbury, consisting of curb realignment, sidewalk reconstruction, as well as new and relocated pedestrian ramps, traffic signal infrastructure, and street lighting infrastructure. This was brought under new business on June 24, 2021, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division, Specific Repair Plan, Washington Street, Bartlett Station Drive, and St. James Street, Roxbury, one sheet, dated March 2nd, 2021. Good morning.
Good morning, members of the commission. Ian McKinnon here from Howard Stein Hudson, here on behalf of Bartlett Place Land Incorporated and Nuestra Comunidad, the team leading the Bartlett Station redevelopment. This morning, I'm joined by Andre Jones from Nuestra and Bob Messenger, also from Howard Stein Hudson. As you may recall, 2 weeks ago during new business, we introduced this petition connected to the Bartlett Station mixed-use redevelopment on the former Bartlett Yard MBTA maintenance facility site just south of Newton Square. Based on feedback from 2 weeks ago, we've made some minor plan updates, and my colleague Bob Messenger here from our team is here to walk you through the plan.
Thank you, Ian. Just to orientate everybody, we've got Washington Street in the middle of the plan, Bartlett Station Drive to the top, and St. James Street on the bottom. For both intersections, the specific repairs are curb realignment, new sidewalk, and new pedestrian ramps. Zooming in on St. James Street first, that's where the majority of the new sidewalk will be. We're providing a new bump out here, city standard 10-foot curb radii. This shortens the crossing to about 26 feet for a bit safer route for the pedestrians. Just to note, St. James Street is a one-way. On the other side of the intersection, the new pedestrian ramps and new curbs to adjust for that, and everything else is staying in place. In addition to this, the project is providing new BTD signals for the intersection. We do have enough separation for accessibility, and street lighting has commented as well, and we're relocating street light, and we're also providing a new street light here. And in the area of the new sidewalk, there is an existing electrical duct bank that's owned by Eversource, and in the construction documents, we are providing an adjustment to grade for that manhole. However, they had no response to our reach out and our coordination. Moving on to Bartlett Station Drive, very similar curb realignment. The existing opening here is 24 feet. It's maintaining the existing opening. We straightening out or providing the 10-foot city standard radius here. Everything else is the same. New pedestrian ramps, new sidewalk. We're removing the existing apex ramps and we're straightening that out to shorten the crossing for pedestrians. And of course, new BTD signals outside of the landings, and located streetlight and retaining streetlight as well. And that is all.
Thank you, Robert. Any questions by fellow commission members regarding this presentation? Amy, I'm going to assume you're okay with the timetable and the installation of this new traffic signal, including the approval processes and all of that good stuff?
Yeah, I think that Ian's gone through Don and those guys.
Okay. Ian, do you have a sense of when the traffic signal might get installed? Is it a mast mount or a pole mount?
Yes, we're moving into procurement this fall as part of the MassWorks grant process that we're working with Andre and a couple other parts of this infrastructure as part of this development. So later this fall is when we're going to kick that off. So we wouldn't expect this before next spring to be installed. And it has been coordinated through Dawn. It will be interconnected and everything is up to snuff with him.
Ian, just for my specific madness,
Sure.
Appreciate it. You can do this offline, just include a set of the traffic signal plans that go with this design, with the specific repairs. Okay, and if you could just provide that into PSC staff, so this way when the set work is done, including whether you are having any semi-actuated loops and how the loops are to be positioned in relationship to the pavement marking plans. Okay, so what we need here is a set of plans that shows the traffic signal infrastructure and the new lane markings, because you are squeezing the intersection, and it will be good for us to know where the new lane markings are, including any center line, gutter line, and all of that good stuff. You sort of understand what I'm saying, right, Ian?
100%. Yep.
Awesome. Perfect.
How about that?
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Any further comments or points by fellow commission members? Hearing none. Comments by PSC staff and or members of the audience today? Todd, are you okay with things?
Sorry, no, no issues with this and no public testimony either.
Okay. Ian, again, it's sort of important for us to get those traffic signal plans, because I'm sure the city would be quite interested to know whether it's a semi-actuated or a fully actuated system, whether this is coordinated with the next traffic signal, and how all of that stuff is going to get done, by when, or something of that nature. Okay, at this point, I'd like to get a motion regarding public hearing number 4.
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Bartlett Place Land, Inc. for the making of specific repairs within Washington Street, Bartlett Station Drive, and St. James Street, as read in the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstain? Hearing none, motion passes. Next item.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Fifth item on today's agenda, on a petition by Massachusetts Port Authority for a grant of location to install new utility infrastructure within Lovell Street, a public way, East Boston, located at the site of 41 Neptune Road, generally southwest of Neptune Road. This was brought on a new business on June 24th of 2021, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department Engineering Division Grant of Location Plan 41 Neptune Road, Lovell Street, East Boston, 1 feet dated May 2021.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, committee members. My name is Greg Ettridge. I am the Senior Project Manager for Massport. Can everybody hear me?
Good morning, Greg. Hearing you loud and clear. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you. Massport is looking for a petition for a grant of location to install some utility duct banks in Lovell Street, which is a public way, and I'll share my screen. And I'll zoom in here. So you can see here in the plan, this is Lovell Street, this is Neptune Road. What we're looking to do is to install duct banks from the existing Massport manhole K19 for a new manhole that we'll be installing on Massport property into the Massport customer station, ST 266. So we're looking to install a 3-inch telecommunication duct bank, a 4-way 5-inch duct bank, 6-way 5-inch duct bank, and an 8-way 5-inch duct bank, connecting the pond manhole, Massport pond manhole, and connecting manhole 1819 to a new manhole that will be installed on Massport property. Also, as part of this, we will be relocating an existing, and I can move to that plan. There is an existing curb cut that we're also requesting relocation and reconfiguration of the sidewalk with new curb cut to allow for utility vehicles and maintenance vehicles to access the site. This location you can see below up of the curb cut. It doesn't really go to anywhere, and we're looking to locate that down where we'll install a gate in the fence so that we can provide access to maintenance vehicles, periodic access.
Greg, just a point of clarification, and I stand to be corrected by my PSC staff. Your petition is just for the grant of location for the telecommunication conduits and not, I repeat, not for the relocation of the curb cut. Mr. Liming, could you confirm that for me, please?
That's correct. The project has submitted a curb cut application, and that is currently being reviewed administratively by Public Works and Transportation Department. So that's not, the curb cut is not the subject of this action.
Thank you, Mr. Liming. Appreciate clarifying that based on Greg's comments. Greg, just a background, your conduits, is it mostly telecommunication conduits or is it both telecommunications and power?
Correct. It's for both communication conduit and for medium voltage power.
Thank you, Greg. At this point, are there any comments or questions by fellow commission members?
Oh, good morning, Greg. This is Denise Devlin from Boston Water and Sewer. We didn't have comments on the plans, but we do need to have these plans filed with our Engineering Customer Services Department, so they will be contacting you after the meeting. I actually don't have your contact information. I can contact the person who sent out the plans if that's okay with you. I can just put your name in the email that you presented the plans.
Sure.
Okay.
That's perfect.
Thank you.
Any further comments by commission staff? Hearing none, any comments by PSC staff and or members of today's audience?
No, none.
Thank you. At this point, I'd like to give a motion regarding public hearing number 5.
I'll make a motion to approve a petition by Massachusetts Port Authority for a grant of location in Lovell Street as read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstained? Hearing none, motion passes. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you.
Final item or last item on today's agenda, item number 6, on a petition by Crown Castle for a grant of location with lead company status and no participants to install new telecommunication conduit with city shadow within the following public ways in South Boston. Summer Street, generally between address number 415 and D Street, D Street, D for David, generally at Summer Street. This was brought under new business on June 24, 2021, as shown on a plan entitled City of Boston Public Works Department, Engineering Division, grant of location, Crown Castle, Fiber, Boston, Summer Street, D Street, one sheet dated June 2021. Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. My name's Brian Cunningham. I'm with Crown Castle, and with me today on the call is Anna Samashka, also from Crown Castle. I would like to share my screen. Can someone confirm if you can see that?
Yes, let's do. Brian, thank you.
Okay, thanks, Todd. As Para mentioned, we're petitioning for a grant of location for telecommunications conduit on Summer Street and D Street. To orient you, this is Summer Street this way. This is D Street here. The total length of the proposed conduit is about 245 feet from a light pole right here outside of 425 Summer Street to a handhold to be placed in the sidewalk, into Summer Street, over to D Street, and up to electric manhole 26686, from which point we would lease Eversource conduit about 330 feet down D Street this way to connect to our fiber backbone. We plan to install two 2-inch conduits, one for power, one for telecom, one for fiber, plus a 4-inch city shadow conduit with 4 interducts inside of the city shadow. This was presented in the new business hearing on June 24th. We have not received any interest from other potential participants since that meeting. Any questions or comments about this plan?
Thank you, Brian. Questions or comments by commission members? Questions or comments by PIC staff and or members of today's audience?
Just a note that the new business agenda for this project incorrectly listed the location as 415 D Street. It is in fact 415 Summer Street.
Thank you, Todd, for that point of clarification. I'm going to assume, Todd, that the plans that are being shown, at least the title block, has it correctly identified?
Yes, the plans are correct. The newspaper advertisements were correct. There's no issues other than the new business agenda.
Thank you, Mr. Limey.
I think these are brick crosswalks. Are you restoring them?
I believe it's concrete sidewalk, actually.
Well, the sidewalk, and then I think across it is either stamped concrete or some sort of paper that goes across the end of D Street.
I'm sorry, can you indicate where, over here?
Yeah, through that median island.
Okay, through here?
Yeah, I think that that's a specialty crosswalk.
If it is, we will certainly restore that.
Thank you, Brian. As always, we expect you to do what you do, which is to adhere to what is in best interest of both the city, its clients, and its citizens. So truly appreciate you being attentive to the little details.
Absolutely. Thank you, Para.
Thank you, Brian. Hearing no further comments by staff members and or commission members, I'd like to hear a motion regarding public hearing number 6.
I make a motion to approve a petition by Crown Castle for a grant of location in the area of Summer Street and D Street, as more particularly read into the record by the chair.
Second.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Anyone opposed or abstain? Motion passes. Thank you, Brian. That concludes the public hearing segment of today's agenda. Now moving on to the new business segment of today's agenda. New business item number 1, 233 Hancock Street, Dorchester, grant of location on a petition by Verizon New England, Inc.
Good morning again, Public Improvement Commission. Again, Richard Foreman representing Verizon New England. This petition is to connect one new 4-inch Schedule 40 PVC conduit and one 4-inch conduit with 1.25-inch interduct for a city shadow duct from existing Verizon manhole 609A in front of 289 Hancock Street and extending 230 feet to a break-off point in front of 244 Hancock Street, where 17 feet of conduit will be placed from the main conduit run to the property line of 244 Hancock Street. This is a 17-foot section of conduit. It's also going to have one 4-inch conduit for Verizon's use and one city shadow duct with 4-1/4 ducts. From this point, it's going to extend an additional 145 feet to another point in front of 244 Hancock Street. This will extend an additional 17 feet to the property line. We'll have a 1-inch Schedule 40 duct for Verizon and 4-1/4 ducts for the city. From there, it's going to extend 198 feet to in front of 233 Hancock Street to the property line. All of these sections will also include city shadow ducts as noted, 4-1/4 ducts. Again, this is just for new service at 244 Hancock and 233 Hancock Street.
Richard, appreciate you articulating the scope of work, but since this is new business and a hearing process, do you have a set of plans which you can show so that the commission members would have followed what you were saying?
Oh, sure, I'm sorry. Hang on just a minute. Can you guys see my screen?
No, not yet.
Okay. Richard, if you are having issues, Mr. Liming might be able to assist you. There might be an additional, not good time for my jokes. He might send you a bill. Oh, there you are, Richard. Save your company a couple of pennies. Go for it.
Okay, so hopefully you all can see the plan now.
Yes, we can.
Okay, so yes, as previously noted, here's existing Verizon manhole 609A in front of 289 Hancock Street. As previously noted, this is 228 feet of conduit to point A, which is in front of 244 Hancock Street. From this point, it's going to be a breakout, which is going to have one 4-inch conduit for Verizon and 4-1/4 city shadow ducts, as well as this main run from the manhole. From this point A, it's going to extend 145 feet to point B in front of 244 Hancock Street, where an identical breakout to point A will have also 17 feet of 4-inch duct for Verizon, as well as 4-1/4 for the city use. And then 198 feet from this point over to 233 Hancock Street, the property line. And this section is also going to have 4-inch conduit for Verizon and 4-1/4 city ducts.
Richard, points of clarification, it is very rare that our old telephone company or Verizon didn't have any conduits anywhere within the city. So a little bit confused as to why you all need these conduits on a very common street as Hancock Street. I don't recall whether this is an underground district or whether there are overhead utility poles. So could you shed some light as to why such conduits are needed, especially for a company of Verizon's heritage within Boston?
Just from what I can tell with this plan, our only existing conduit that we have extends from this manhole to the corner of 274 Hancock Street. So I would assume that
because we don't have any existing ducts continuing on this street, this is the only effective way to feed this new construction for these sites.
All right. Always stand to be surprised. Thank you, Richard. I appreciate you sharing that information. Any comments or questions, concerns by fellow commission members?
Oh, good morning, Richard. Just a friendly reminder, if there are any comments or any changes to what we approved, we just have to send them through our engineering and customer services and get it approved before public hearing.
Understood.
Thank you.
The Disabilities Commission, the Disabilities Commission would like to double check with the team just to ensure that there aren't any accessible parking spaces located along this stretch. If any of those spaces were to be affected by construction activities, you would need to contact our office 2 weeks prior to construction to coordinate a relocation of those spaces. So we just want to flag that at this stage.
So you just wanted to make sure that no parking spaces were going to be disturbed? Is that what you said? I'm sorry.
Yes. So if there are any on-street accessible parking spaces, the signs with the blue wheelchair, we would just need to know if those spaces are being disturbed, where their locations are, and what the relocation plan is for that. And all of that needs to be coordinated and approved through our office before proceeding to construction.
Absolutely understood.
Thank you, Sarah. Any other comments, questions, concerns by commission members? Hearing none. Any comments by PIC staff and or members of today's audience?
Just wondering if anybody from Verizon is present on this call?
Yeah, this is John Riley, Verizon engineer. I've called and I'm not on the video meet.
Thank you, John.
Thank you, Mr. Riley. At the public hearing, if you could identify yourself, if and when Mr. Foreman announces himself, that would be much appreciated.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Todd, any other comments? Further comments?
No, not at this time.
Great. Then we will mark you up for 2 weeks, which should put you to see us on July 22nd. Yes, July 22nd?
This is going to be a follow-up meeting on July 22nd, is that what you said?
Yes, public hearing. You will come for a public hearing?
Yes.
On July 22nd?
Yes.
Okay. Todd, I believe July 22nd is our next hearing date?
Yes, correct.
Thank you. Mr. Foreman, we will see you in 2 weeks for a public hearing.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Second item under new business, Dartmouth Street, public alley number 435, Boston proper, grant of location on a petition by TC Systems, Inc.
Good morning, this is Adam Heller from Sienna Engineering Group, representing TC Systems. I have Haley Walker with me from Sienna Engineering Group as well. Thanks for having us. Let me just share my plan here. All right, can everyone see that?
Yes, Adam.
Great, thank you. So this is a proposal from TC Systems to install about 400 total linear feet of microduct fiber optic to serve customers in the area. This is starting at an existing TC Systems manhole on Public Alley 435, continuing down Public Alley 435 around up Dartmouth Street and ending at an existing lamppost just before the intersection of Commonwealth Avenue. We did have a couple of revision requests that have been revised on this plan that you're seeing now compared to the original. So originally we had a manhole in the sidewalk. The Disabilities Commission had asked that we move that into the street. So we reduced the size, and I'm going to zoom in here, we reduced the size of it to minimize the impact and moved it outside of that ramp. And then the Parks and Recreation Department had some concerns about the original placement of this handhole, which was next to this lamppost in the sidewalk again. It would have impacted the existing tree and root system there. So we again moved that, downsized the structure, made it a road rated structure and moved it into the street to still satisfy the design requirements while not impacting those routes. I believe those are the extent of the requests. And so if there aren't any other requests, we'll be able to send this final plan back to Water and Sewer for final approval. And
Thank you.
Sure, I'd be happy to take any other questions.
Denise?
Oh, yes, Para.
Sorry, I thought you had a question or a comment from Mr.
Oh,
Taylor?
no, I actually, I'm sorry, Para, I just said thank you to Adam for, he made a comment that he's gonna come back to us for, so we get the final approval, because they were different from what we approved before.
Thank you, Denise. Sorry, I
Oh, no,
missed
no worries.
it. Any other comments from Adam? Adam, for me, could you do me a small favor when you come back for the public hearing? It's nice for you to, just for this situation, have a photograph of how public alley 435 looks. I don't quite recall, and I'm a little bit concerned. Now, you are doing a micro trench, right?
That's correct.
At what depth, again, for the purpose of my recollection, at what
So
depth?
This will be it'll be no more than 6 inches deep.
Got it, okay. So, all right, because, and how long will it take you to perform this work on public alley 435?
Public alley 435 should be finished up in 2 to 3 days. It's a very quick process.
Okay, because sometimes I think Ms. Foddy from the Transportation Department should be able to give me better guidance. Some of these back alleys, public alleys are notorious for access into the properties, and they may be concerned with the hours of construction. So hopefully you will be sensitive to the abutters and the neighbors while you are making construction. Every once in a while, some of these public alleys have drainage issues that can be amplified or become an issue for us. So hopefully you will be good corporate citizens and do what is needed.
They'll be all right on the public alley. You gotta stay away from trash day. It's a whole line of dumpsters out there. So I wouldn't construct when that happens or schedule around it. Cause your whole run is just a row of dumpsters. So you're gonna have to schedule around them.
Okay, understood.
Awesome. Any other comments by commission staff? Comments, guidance by PIC staff and all members of today's audience?
No, none.
Hearing none, we will mark you up for July 22nd, which is 2 weeks from today. See you
Okay,
then.
thank you very much. And then just to clarify, if I might, at the public hearing, I can bring a photograph of what public alley 435 looks like currently, and I will be sure to coordinate around trash day when construction time comes.
Thank you, Adam. Truly appreciate that sensitivity.
All right. You got it. Thank you very much.
I believe that concludes the business of today. I'd like to get a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, everyone. You all have a wonderful day and continue to stay safe. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.